Hey, honey?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, one last thing I had for a side comment before we dive into this week's episode is some people might have asked in the comments below, why did you buy a codex for an army that was underpowered and just leave it sitting on your shelf the entire edition? It's because I bought into the I bought one of each of the 8th edition starter sets, the small one, the medium one, and the big one. And so I had a full army of Deathwatch, and was like, well, I got the army, I should get the Codex. And then I realized the Codex was bad. So that's why I actually spent the money on that Codex last week. Just wanted to get that information out there. Before I dive into this week's, here on Retro Review, I'm Fen, and this is my review show where we go through my copious amounts of gaming books, one book at a time. And to keep me from rambling like I just started doing here at the beginning, we have Laura.
Hey everybody. So to taper off this rambling, I'm going to ask a list of questions because I'm right here on my notebook. So what is today's book?
Today's book is the Warhammer 40k 9th edition Codex for the Imperial Knights.
Okay, you want to give us a quick synopsis?
So this is the rule book you need in order to play the Imperial Knights, which are the big giant robots, armored mech suits of Warhammer 40k.
Okay, where did you get this book?
Got this one at Warhammer River. No, this one I got at Shiretown Gaming in Holton. They actually had this one for sale up on the shelf, and I was able to go up, trade in a bunch of my Magic the Gathering and other gaming stuff I wanted to get rid of at the time.
And came home with the book.
Came home with this and half of my Knight's army.
Cool.
So.
What do you like about this book?
What I like about this book is I have always been a big giant robot fan ever since I was a little kid. One of my Imperial Knights is actually painted up to look like Voltron. Good little chance to just put a photo of him up here real quick. Yeah, no, I always wanted to do the Knights when I first played against them. In 8th edition, my friend Damien, he has his whole Knight army. I was just like, it's a lot of like hobby skill that I wasn't ready to do yet. Mm-hmm. So when I finally started collecting Knights and I got my Codex, I was like, all right, let's build a Knight army.
Cool. What didn't you like about this book?
Nothing really. I mean, it's not something about the book itself. Granted, there are some really broken combos in here to do some massive damage, which I really like. Some of you out there might have not liked that. And I don't like being on the receiving end of Knights because they are so big and so powerful that you don't take Knights to a friendly game, you take Knights to a very competitive game because they're imbalanced to the rest of the factions. So I would say that would be a negative side for the book. It's a little imbalanced, but it's kind of nice. You just put 5 minis on the table and your friend's got like 1,000 minis all over the place and you're just like, all right, we're going to have some fun.
Okay, would you recommend this book to another gamer?
I definitely would recommend a Knights Codex to anybody who wants to play with big giant robots.
Are you planning to keep this book?
Yeah. The Sisters of Battle, the Adeptus Sororitas are my number one. My number two army to build and paint and play is the Imperial Knights. This is my number two out of all of them. And we're getting to next week is going to be my number three of my favorite armies to play. So.
Okay, nice. Well, those are all my questions.
All right, I'm going to ask one last question. Everybody, what's your favorite army to build and paint? Because Knights to me is my favorite one to build and paint. Not just because They're big, and there's not lots of tiny little fiddly bits, because there are tiny fiddly little bits, but there's just so much customization and cool stuff you can do with these. But what's your favorite army to build and paint? Leave that in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for tuning in, listening to me ramble, and it really means a lot to us to have everybody tune in for these discussion of outdated, no longer useful books that a lot of us all have sitting on our shelves collecting dust, but we can't bear to part with because we just enjoyed using them so much.
Remember we didn't want to ramble too much?
We didn't want to ramble. Alright, put the book over.
Bye everybody.
Peace.
Hey everybody, thanks for staying till the end of the episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Board Barista Productions. And if you want to support us, Patreon link at the bottom.